Welcome to Madison City Channel's Know Your Candidates interviews, co-sponsored by the League of Women Voters of Dane County. I'm your interviewer, Eve Galanter, and I would like to introduce Carlos Rodriguez Lewison, running for Dane County Board Supervisor for District 2. Carlos, welcome.
Thank you.
As we begin, please give an opening statement about the educational, vocational, and civic experience you have, which prepares you for this office, and why you are running for the Dane County Board.
I was originally born in Spain, but moved here with my mother. My mother's family all grew up on Sherman Avenue. So my entire family pretty much grew up on Sherman near Aberg. And I'm very familiar with the community. And I have a degree in music. And after I finished my degree, I went out to San Francisco and worked out there for a while, for almost 10 years. And the company I worked for went under, and I came back home to Madison because I love it here. And when I came back, I was recruited to work as a general manager at the Madison Hostel. Yes, the Madison Hostel was at that time being shut down because it had been run so poorly. And within about a year, I brought it into the black. It was a profitable operation. And that gives me the budgeting experience. And also when I was living in California, I was a sales and marketing analyst for a company in consumer electronics. So I know the numbers.
Very good. What specific, how should the county address the significant budget deficit that's expected for the 2027 budget?
Well, I would take a close look at the current budget now and also look at future projects that we could slim down and maybe cut the fat, make sure there's not overspending, make sure the limits are not, make sure we don't tolerate overspending on any project like that, like the Dairy, I think it was a Dairy Drive project that kind of went over budget and was a failure. So before spending any money, I would look very closely at how it's planned, how it's, the oversight, what the results would be. But again, look at this current budget and see where we could perhaps cut spending where you don't need it, things like that, what projects are, look at staffing, everything you have to do just like at your home that you might do that way.
Well, what specific ideas do you have to increase the supply and quality of affordable housing and to preserve existing affordable housing?
Well, my idea is I think we need to have more dense housing projects by developers. Instead of growing outward like Milwaukee and Chicago, we need to have more density and effective mass transit. And I would support any regional train projects. I think that's important. And I think that's the most important thing, is work with developers so that we can have more density, kind of like how Europe has their cities laid out, and not just single homes that have quarter-acre lots and things like that. So we have to provide more efficiency in the use of our land. That's what I would do.
What more, if anything, do you think the county needs to do to address the needs of our neighbors who are experiencing homelessness?
That leads me to an idea that I have with a Dane County Veterans Village. So it's be tiny homes for veterans. And I think a peer type of, I think what a lot of homeless people would need, friends. They need friends that can help guide them and try to help them, whatever their problems are, whatever their challenges are, into a better direction. And I also feel that about the veterans, that if we could have a small community, that the veterans would look after each other, kind of like a brotherhood. And I think that's true with humans in general, that if they have positive peers around them, influencing them, it would definitely help them stay away from the things that got them into their situations.
Well, when faced with making difficult, controversial decisions, how will you ensure that you're getting input from the residents with a broad range of perspectives?
Yes, that's something I would like to do, is have like a town hall meeting. As often as possible, I would send out emails and see how we could do that and get their opinion and what their concerns are about this district, whether it's affordable housing, whether it's crime, transit issues, whatever it may be. But I would definitely want to hear from the people and have their input. And maybe they have great ideas as well that I can present to the board. And I worked in tech support for about 4 years. So the way I think is I focus on solutions, and I don't like to complain or anything like that, not problems. So I would work with them and figure out as many solutions as we could, and then the best ones I would present to the board as a solution.
So please describe any other priorities for your term in office. If these include new or expanded programs, how would you propose to fund them?
The project I would like to present is this Veterans Village, and I have some veterans in Madison that could help me fundraise for that, whether it's federal funding, just like the Dairy Drive project. There's a lot of funding for veterans, and I think that's the best way to do it, is go to people that have already done this before. There's, I think, the Women's Business Center on Park Street that could help me. I was told they could help me figure out a plan and how to do this and find some land, and work with all the various communities, work with Madison College on the tiny homes, and then work with the city planners on any land that might be available, things like that. But I think this could be a very viable solution for vets struggling with their challenges in life, and mix that with veterans who are very functional and will be a good peer for them to lead them in a better direction.
What would you like to say to the viewing audience as we complete this interview?
Well, I wanted to say thank you for giving me this opportunity, for being able to speak to everybody. And I want to make sure everybody knows I will do everything I can to communicate and listen to the people that I represent, and take in consideration of what their opinions are, what they may think be a good solution for their neighborhoods, wherever it is. And that I've never done this before. I have nothing else to gain. I just want to help my neighborhood that I'm in. I live on Sherman Avenue, and like I said, I want to really do the best. This is something I feel good about. That's the thing I loved about working in tech support, is you find solutions and people are overjoyed with those solutions. And that's the way I feel about it.
I want to thank Carlos Rodriguez Lewison for speaking with us, and thank our viewing audience for taking the time to know your candidates. I want to remind everyone that the primary election is Tuesday, February 17th, and the general election is Tuesday, April 7th. Every election is important. Please vote. On behalf of Madison City Channel and the League of Women Voters of Dane County, I thank you for joining us.